California is experiencing what is now the most devastating winter fire in more than 4 decades.
And as the climate changes, the fire season is becoming more of a year-round problem, but specific factors have come together to amplify this event. The supersized Santa Ana winds whip flames and embers at 100 miles per hour, much faster than normal during the extreme drought. The conditions made firefighting difficult for both ground crews as well as aircraft.
So what made these Santa Ana winds so much more destructive this time? Meteorologist Justin Hobbs explaining that for us.
If we take a look at this particular setup of the Santa Ana winds and we look at the position and proximity of the high pressure and low pressure, it really explains why this one was just so bad. So during a typical Santa Ana wind event, we get a ridge of high pressure that builds up across the Great Basin or northeast of the Sierras. Meanwhile, an area of low pressure develops just off the coast of California. Now, this area of high pressure, it's squeezing the air molecules together, getting them excited, getting them energized to ready to run their race. And their race is to the area of low pressure. Now, because of the distance, we'll call this a 5K. So the wind is going to go down the mountains, and as it goes down, it's warming, it's compressing, and then it goes across the desert. This is what dries the air out. We see the drop in humidity, and then it makes its way through all these little canyons, and they act as a wind tunnel, forcing the wind even stronger as they make their way out onto the coast. This is typical setup of Santa Ana winds, but in this particular setup that we saw just a couple days ago, the area of low pressure was much closer to the area of high pressure. It was in Southern California and Western Arizona, the same one that brought us all this cold weather. And because they were closer together, there's more forcing between the two. And we went from running a 5K to a 100-yard dash. And that's why we saw these winds get so much stronger as they went down the mountains and forced their way through the canyons, helping spread these wildfires uncontrollably. So it's always important that when we are forecasting wildfires, we take a look at just how close pressure centers are. And we can do so by looking at our pressure lines here on our surface map. You can see off the coast, those lines are not as close, and that's where the winds are much lighter. Meanwhile, right now, you can see those lines are much closer together in Western Arizona, once again in parts of California, and that's why we're seeing those winds pick up once again. In the studio, Justin Hobbs, ABC 15, Arizona.